I keep them on deck, of course, for edification's sake. Because the statement I mentioned was basically this. You got it where this is the image, right? This is the image. When you go into most so-called church buildings, all right, this is the image they have up. They have this guy up with the blonde hair, all right, and the pale skin, right? This is a leopard right here, all right. And yes, I'm going into the depiction of our Lord, because our Lord descended from the tribe of Judah, all right. This man right here, which is Cesare Borgia of the Borgia family, right? Because they had Cesare Borgia painted and put him up as the image of, like he was our Lord, right? This is the devil right here, man. This is the image of deception, right? This is their deception. This is Edomite supremacy in its best, all right? See, it's okay when you got this right here, all right? When you got this right here, and you calling on his name, his fake name, which is Jesus the Christ, right? It's okay. But when you know the real image, right? But this is Jesus the Christ right here, but this is Yahushua. All right, this is Yahushua, right? This is the true son, all right? This is the real image of whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right? Oh yeah. Appreciate it. Yep, for sure. Yeah, they need to hear. Because when the Lord come back, they're gonna expect this man right here to come through the skies.
That ain't even that's made up.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right, it's made up, right? So our Lord sprang out of the tribe of Judah, right? Let's get that. You know? Book of Hebrews 7:14. It says, for it is evident. Oh man, I stepped on my fringe. Fix my border blue. But anyway, so it says, for it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah. Yeah, the lead tribe, right? Judah. It says, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood, because the original priest tribe was the tribe of Levi. All right. Let's get some scriptures right now. That one? It's a lot. Yes, oh my God. That pissed me off. I got to fix my car. All right, now let's go to scripture, right? Get this. That was a guy. He looked like a so-called Caucasian, but he could have been a Jake. I mean, he agreed with what I was saying. Okay. Could be, possibility. All right, let's go into it, right? Bear with me 1 second. It's gonna take you way back. Ooh. Bear with me 1 second. Hebrews 5:5. And one of the elders said unto me, weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, which is going into the Messiah, right, Yahushua. The Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof, right? Just want to give a quick reference precept, right? Let's go into who the Lion of Judah is, because that book, it's talking about the Bible, right? It was sealed, right? But I'm sorry, not whoever, but who was able to open the book was Yahweh Shai, right? So he's the Lion of Judah. Now let's go into a depiction of how Yahweh Shai looked. And I'm gonna hold my sign. All right, let's go to the book of Revelation. And this cuts you wicked ass Israelites too, by the way, man, because and you Jake talk a lot of shit, man. I gotta be honest, man, because that guy came up here. He easily knew that so-called Jesus Christ, his true name is Yahweh Shai. He knew that he was a so-called black man. He was in agreement. But if you take a typical looking Israelite in the hood, right? He got so much shit to say. All right, this is not a so-called white man's book, man. This is a book of the so-called black man. All right, the so-called brown man, which the Latino and Native American Negroes, man. So-called, man. This is our book. All right, now let's read the description. Revelation 1, verse 13. And in the midst of the seven candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girded about the paps with a golden girdle. I keep that description as well. It's in my other photo pictures. I could get them, but I ain't gonna get it. It's the main thing you need, right? It says, his head and his hairs were white like wool. So his head and his hairs, right, which is his whole head, right, were white like wool, which is, he had a full head of gray hairs, all right, and it was wool-like texture, all right, white like wool. So white like wool would be like you go get some wool off a sheep's back, right, and you make it like it's gray, because our hair go from being dark to gray, right? And that's how our Lord looked, as far as his head, man. All right, his head, which his head. Someone that has a head that's fully grayed or woolly would be someone like man. Let me think, yo. What's the actor or something with a man? You're like with a head full of woolly hairs. Hair like Morgan Freeman, but all over with a full beard. I would say that. Hair like Morgan Freeman, but with a full beard as well. All right, and that's how our Lord would look. About dark as Wesley Snipes. How we know about dark as Wesley Snipes? Because it go on to say in verse. It says his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. Right? And that goes into Genesis 49 chapter where it says his eyes should be red with wine. All right? It says, verse 15, and his feet like unto fine grass, which grass is light brown by itself. All right? This is a well-known fact that grass itself is light brown. All right? It says, and his feet like unto fine grass, so light brown, right? As if they burned in the furnace, right? And his voice as the sound of many waters. So his feet like unto fine brass. Like I said, fine brass is already a light brown. And then it says as it burned in the furnace, man. So burnt brass would be very dark brown, because it's already real light brown. And common sense tell you when you burn something that it turns dark. That's common sense. You learned that as a kid. All right. So when you burn something, it turns dark automatically. That's why I said he was dark brown like Wesley Snipes. Why do I say that? Because you look up burnt brass, right? You look up burnt brass, you can Google burnt brass, right? And it'll show you. In fact, you can go to Google, right? I'm gonna go to Google for us real quick. Real quick. Burnt brass. I typed in burnt brass. So what I did was I typed in burnt brass, as you can see, and it started showing you images of burnt brass, and even got a color depiction. It says hair like wool, feet like burnt brass. Somebody drew this image up right here, and it's on Google. This is all on Google, so there's no excuse, man. It shows you all different types of burnt brass. All right, these are casings, right? So the casings, they even show the casings of bullets, right, which is made out of brass, right? But when it's burned from it being shot, being fired, the shell is burnt because of the gunpowder, right? It burns the shell, right, which propels the bullet, the actual bullet, and you see it's burnt, and it went from light brown to dark brown. I mean, it's simple, man. It's simple. So by default, when you look up things, right, like what Paul says, study to show thyself approved. So when you so when you so when you go in the scriptures, you look and you go into what I just went into, Revelation the first chapter, and you read to how our Lord lived. These are revelations that was given to John. All right, man. All right, so John seen Yahweh Shah in the vision, right? Let alone John knew Yahweh Shah, by the way. So not only that, first off, John knew Yahweh Shah before he was on the island of Patmos, right? And he received the vision on the island of Patmos. So John already knew, all right, how Yahweh Shah looked, all right, point blank period. I remember he came to Yahweh Shai, right? He came to Yahweh Shai. Well, I'm sorry, not he came to Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai came to him to be baptized. And John felt like he was unworthy to baptize Yahweh Shai because Yahweh Shai is the son of the Most High. So John was like, you should be baptizing me, in other words, okay? Now, by default, it eliminates this one right here. So if you want to have a depiction or a description of how our Lord looked, it should be this image right here. This should be the image you have up in your so-called church buildings. All right, big beard like Barry White. All right. And a fro like Dolomite. Right? And looking real great. That almost is rhyming right there. I wouldn't even trying. No, it's inside joke. But yeah, this is how it should look in the so-called church buildings. But who they got painting in the so-called church buildings? This guy right here, Cesare. All right. All right. Now let's go back to the scriptures, right? So when you take we're going to Ezekiel the 37th chapter, right? When you take the stick of Judah and his companion, right? Going into Ezekiel the 37th chapter again, the southern kingdom will be, or the tribes of the southern kingdom, which we got on the sign, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, which is so-called Jew, right? The fake Jews always got, I'm Judah and Levi. Ben Yehuda. No, you're not, man. Speaking that Yiddish crap. No, man, you're not no Israelite, man. Then they'll say, oh, I'm Levi. All right? Why do you think Paul was called a Jew? Because he was of the southern kingdom of the nation of Israel. He was a Benjaminite. All right? Now, let's get there. Paul was a Benjaminite. Let's prove it's about Paul. Like I said, Paul was a Jew, but he was a more, oh shit. But specifically, he was a Benjaminite. Man. It says, this is Paul to the church of Galatia, right? Paul says, but when I saw that they walked not uprightly according to the truth of the gospel, I said unto Peter before them all, if thou being a Jew livest after the manner of Gentiles, is not as do the Jews, why compellest thou the Gentiles to live as do the Jews? We who are Jews by nature and not sinners of the Gentiles, right? So this is Paul speaking to the church of Galatia, right? The Israelites that was living in Galatia. So he said, we who are Jews by nature, right? Not only was they, because Paul was willing to the fact that not only it was Jews, right, but they was circumcised, right, as far as the law and everything, all right? The point being that they were Jews. One may say, well, how do you know that Paul was of the tribe of Benjamin? Romans 11:1. I say then, hath the Most High cast away his people? Heavenly Father forbid. For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, right? So he goes back to Abraham, right? The promise, right? Covenant of the promise, right? Or father of the promise too, right? Same thing. That's where it started. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? It says, for I also am an Israelite. So Israelite meaning what? Going back to one of Jacob's sons having children, right? Well, not I said Jacob's. Come from Jacob, right? Jacob had Benjamin, right? Benjamin by Sarah, right? The one he loved first, right? I said Sarah, Shalakis. Yeah. Rachel, I'm sorry. Rachel, Shalakis. See? Going off, brother. No, Shalakis. Jacob had Benjamin by Rachel, all right, because he loved Rachel first, all right, but going to that story with his uncle on his mom's side, Laban, he gave him Leah. He think this mile he worked for Rachel, right? But he had Benjamin through Rachel. It says, for I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. He mentioned Isaac. Yeah, we know that Jacob come out of Isaac. It was one of the twins of Isaac. One of the fraternal twins of Isaac, which inherited the promise from Abraham. All right, Isaac was Abraham's son, and then Jacob was Isaac's son. That the promise continued. All right, so Paul said, I am an Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin. All right, that's why he was called a Jew. Okay, they was collectively known as the Jews. Going into the northern tribes, right? Remember, the Most High's heritage is like a speckled bird, right? A bird of many colors, right? Now let's go into the northern tribes, okay? So, the northern tribes, I'm going to go to the book of, matter of fact, I'm going to go into 2 Kings 17 and 2nd Esdras. Go into the whole slavery a little bit. I'm going to be digging the slavery a little bit and get into the northern tribes because I showed you images of us doing Assyrian captivity, right? Afro, beard, whatever. We like afro on the top of our head, right? So let's go into it, right? 2nd Esdras 13, what? 39 and 40. Get some of the juice. Good juice. book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 13, verse 40. It says, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hoshea the king, whom Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. Now it says Hoshea, but it's really Hoshea, or Lashon Kodash should say Hawashah. Let's go to the book of 2 Kings. In fact, I'm going to hold one on this one and hold the other. That's fucking my garbage. Man, my people bro, too much computers, man. Alright, so 2 Kings. 2 Kings 17:1. In the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, began Hoshea, the son of Elah, to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years. So this is after the split. Hoshea, he was reigning over the northern tribes, okay? It says, verse 2, and he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, but not as the kings of Israel that were before him. Against him came up Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, and Hoshea became his servant and gave him presents. And the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hoshea, for he had sent messages to So, king of Egypt, and brought no present to the king of Assyria, as he had done year by year. Therefore the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison. Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years. So Shalmaneser, he actually came up against Hoshea. Hoshea basically didn't give that present or tribute like he normally would do. All right, and the Most High moved Shalmaneser against Hoshea because it was really time for us to go into captivity. All right. Verse 6, in the 9th year of Hoshea, king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Halah and in Habor by the river of Gozan and in the cities of the Medes. See? Well, they took us away. All right, they took us away. Those northern tribes took us into Assyria. Now, when you look at the I had a map too. I gotta get me another map. I think it got torn. Or something. I think I let somebody borrow something, man. I gotta get me another map. Because I wanna get I like the because one thing I ain't gonna start doing it. I used to do it all the time, right? But going to the geographical area of the different captivities and different places where Israel was scattered to and fled to, right, and carried to through slavery. Right, so these cities of Allah, all right, cool. There we go. Oh, wow. So Halah, because it says what? That he placed us in Halah and Habor by the river Gozan, right? Gozan. Pull it up. Slocky, bear me 1 second. I'll be right with you. Now this is an old map. It says captivities of Israel and Judah. Now, Halah and Habor, they kind of give you a map, right? They kind of give you a map, all right, of the geographical area. Okay, you see the land of the Mede. It said Media, Israelite settlement. Verse 6, it says, in the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Halah and in Habor by the river of Gozan and in the cities of the Medes. So basically, cities of the Medes that'd be east of Assyria. All right, so that's why I said Israelite settlements. And they had Medes, which is Persia today. All right. So you will know. You look at well, it's not called Persia. It's called Iran today, Shalaki. But it was formerly Persia, which I think in 1935 they changed the name from Persia to Iran. Now you go into that. Oh, let's go to River Euphrates. River Euphrates. All right, so now right here, what I've done is so what I've done is same map I showed you. It all connects to the river Euphrates because you have the river, the Tigris River. You have the Tigris River, which Halah and Gozan. Well, Halah was over there by there, right, by the river or the Tigris River, and it all leads to the river Euphrates. It all touches it, right? Now, the Israelite settlements. I'm just doing this so you can get an understanding how, or the area, right? So right here. It says Iran, right? And on the old map I showed you, it said Israelite settlements. Meaning what? Israelites that settled there. So they were brought to Assyria and they was placed in the city of the Medes. So there you go. So to this day, right? You even have, and you know, because I'm saying this because it's a well-known fact that Israelite men have a lot of sex. All right. And wherever we went to, of course, we're gonna give with women of those lands. All right, because some of the women of the other nations we've been scattered to, by way of captivity or what have you, right? They have some decent looking, they have some pretty good looking women. All right, I've seen some Iranian women. They look, some of them be fine as hell, man. All right, shit. Let's say it straight, man. Some of them be fine as hell. All right. was I at? Let's go back. It says, verse 7, 2 Kings 17:7. For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord their God, Yahweh, our power, right? Yahweh Shah, our power. It says, for so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord their God, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and had feared other gods, and walked in the statutes of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out from before the children of Israel and of the kings of Israel, which they had made. So, like I said before, going into what it was, I mentioned earlier, it was time for us to go into captivity, right? I mean, that's the reason I said that. All right. I knew that. Of course, some of you out there just waking up, you didn't know that history, but yeah, it was time for us to go into captivity. And so the Lord, the one that sends our enemies against us. Okay. All right. That's how He deal with us because we're His sons. And when we got in line, hey, you know what time it is. Kind of like how if you had your fathers around and you hear, you see when you pissed off, you tremble, man. And so did we. All right, hey man, shit, going back to the mount. I remember, shit, my dad come to the door when I was a little boy. Man, his voice is so deep, man. He got one of them deep, loud pitch, man, long ranging voices. It was like, well, it wasn't long range. It was short, but it was stern as fuck, man. I remember his voice to this day, man. I mean, it was stupid deep, man. I'm talking about ridiculously deep. So when he spoke, shit, we trembled. Cause we didn't know what was gonna happen, man. Cause shit, we were like, we was kids, we knew he was the authority. Shit, that's why I'm making that comparison because the Most High, when the Most High go to punish us, all right, shit, that's what He do. Should not men of the Lord, prophets, right? All right, and that's how you knew some evil was getting ready to happen because anytime the Most High sent His prophets out, some evil was coming. And that's the reason why wicked ass Israelites sought to kill the prophets, man. Because they didn't want to hear they didn't want to hear the judgment that was coming for them being wicked, man. Or for basically pointing out their sins to them.